Best.Podcast.Ever is sponsored by the Gertzberg Law Firm, a full-service business law firm in Cleveland and Chagrin Falls that's changing the way businesses retain their attorneys. Go to gertzberglaw.com to learn more. While you're there, check out Cover My Six, a complete legal audit of the 6 areas that most often create or prevent business lawsuits and government investigations. Go to covermysix.com to learn how we keep you safe. Enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to listen to the best podcast ever recorded.
I would honestly prefer if that wasn't like the main core thing of my identity, you know?
Yeah.
I just want it to be like something off on the side, like I have brown hair, I have brown eyes, I'm transgender. That I don't want that to be like something that everyone has to know about me. I don't want it to be like the main defining trait.
Hi, Molly Gebler.
Hi, Alex.
What's going on, dude?
Oh, nothing. What about you?
Oh, you know.
A little bit of this and a little bit of that.
A little bit of everything. Yeah.
I had lunch with your boyfriend today.
Which can you be more specific, Molly?
Paul Marnichuk.
Paul, soon to be congressman, soon to be presidential candidate.
Are you jelly? We took a selfie and posted on Facebook in hopes that you would get jelly.
Paul is one of my favorite people. He's a good dude. He's just a good, genuine dude, and he is going places, Molly. I'm telling you, he is a councilman today, but he will be, without any question, on some national ticket one day.
I love it.
I'm sure of it. Yeah.
I love it.
You ever when you meet a politician, and you and I have both met politicians, and we'll keep their names out of it, but do you notice how it seems like they're always campaigning? Some of them?
Not the ones I hang around with.
Man, the ones that I hang out with, it sounds like they're trying to be on message a lot.
All the time, yeah.
And I think they have to be. I think that we live in a world of sound bites, and they have to constantly think that what they're saying may resonate with a voter, so they say the things that, you know, that's the message. Paul's not like that, and it could be that we're friends,
right?
You know, all of us, but he is a guy that genuinely speaks his mind about current affairs, current events.
Agreed.
And very smart, very caring.
Yes.
About the community.
Yes.
Yeah. I keep trying to convince him to hop over a few rungs in the ladder
and just go
right
to president.
Well, no, I mean like some kind of statewide office first, you know, be like, I don't know, Secretary of State, State of Ohio, or Treasurer.
Let's see if we can
do
that. How was your weekend?
It was lovely.
Yeah,
it was lovely. Well,
I still want.
I counted the other day.
Paul was asking. Yeah, but you're counting pre-edit.
No, I listened. I listened to that.
Post-edit. You're listening post-edit. So what was your number?
Like 4.
Oh, my gosh. That's not true. It's not true.
Kids listening at home.
Paul counted, so it's not true.
So to the kids listening at home, Molly thinks that in a few episodes ago.
Anything. I pointed out that I thought it would be fun to play a little drinking game every time you mentioned the word Tiffany. That's all I said. I may have added that you'd be sloshed by the time the end of the podcast was, but
we had a lot of vodka during that episode, didn't we?
I don't know. Speaking of vodka.
Yeah.
Not that you said what you did, but I'll hop right into my weekend then, because obviously you couldn't even say the name.
For the record, which has been well established here with this recording equipment, I was trying to get out what I did this weekend before that detour.
But you couldn't because you couldn't mention the name. But go for it.
All right. Tiffany and I went to the Botanical Gardens with my daughter, and they had trick-or-treating over there, and that was really cool. Yes. Have you been to the Botanical Gardens recently?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Is that connected to the zoo?
No, but the zoo has their own rainforest in it, but not like this. Folks, let me tell you something. Do yourselves a favor and go to the Botanical Gardens, because inside, they created an entire Costa Rican rainforest inside of this building. And
that sounds hot.
No, it wasn't. I mean, it was temperate.
Okay.
But you know what? I'm going to put this up on our on this page because at 2:00 on Sunday, yesterday, they had a big butterfly release.
Oh.
Yeah, and Maya was on my shoulders because all these kids were there, right, for trick-or-treating. And the lady's like, she brings out this big net filled with butterflies, and she says, okay, if you want a butterfly to try to rest on your hand, just put your fist out like a fist bump. And Maya did that. The biggest, most giant butterfly
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
On her fist, and it just sat there for like 2 minutes. It was the coolest, like
goodness.
one of those giant monarch butterflies. And there was like 100 of them out there. So that was
Very
cool. But I love it. I just it really is art plus nature, you know. So I mean, the amount of thought and talent and just beauty that really went into creating it and maintaining it. It's stunning. So we did that, and then we watched the Browns lose. You were going to say something about vodka.
About vodka. So, as we know, the official vodka company, or official vodka of the podcast, the Best Podcast Ever, as well as the Chagrin Valley Chamber's Flow Vodka.
Yeah.
And they were my decoy because we had a surprise birthday party for my sister over the weekend at Bistro 70 in Paynesville. And the decoy was that Flow Vodka was having an event there. So that's how I got her to Bistro 70, that she thought she was going to a Flow Vodka event, my sister's surprise birthday party. And just so everyone knows, and Alex left me during that whole conversation there. And
saying hello to our guest. That's
he doesn't know what I'm talking about right now. So
I heard surprise birthday party and Flow Vodka.
Yeah.
Did she enjoy it?
Enjoy what?
Her surprise birthday party.
Okay, folks.
No,
okay,
come on.
Yes, she did. She was very surprised. It was not a Flow Vodka event like she thought. However, she did walk in and ask, wait, is Flow Vodka going to be here? She was a little panic in her. Yeah. I assured her there would be some vodka involved. But no, she was very surprised, and we pulled it off.
Well, good, Molly. And I'm sorry, where was this?
It was at Bistro 70 in Paynesville. Yeah,
what?
my friend,
Bistro
or my brother's friend owns it. So, and my sister's from Concord, so it made sense to have it out there. Not everything gets done in the Chagrin Valley. I know, and I couldn't drink because 40-minute drive plus driving on Auburn and 44. Like that's you want to be completely with it when you're driving down those roads.
Speaking of driving drunk, I've not been doing that. You want to know why? Because
it's against the law?
And because of the easy availability of Uber and Lyft. And lately, we've driven downtown and then left the car there and then taken an Uber back.
Oh.
And boy, it's such a great concept.
Yeah.
I don't know why everyone doesn't. So that's what I was going to say. So on Saturday night, we went to see this comedian, Whitney Cummings, and she sucked. It was no fun at all. But then we went to
know her though.
She's really famous, and she's written for a lot of TV shows.
Yeah.
She is a giant comedian, and I barely laughed at all. But her opener was hilarious. Anyway, after that, we went to the casino, gambled a little bit, had a few, Ubered at home. While we were waiting for the Uber, we were looking it up, and it was the Cavs. Was that the night? No, that was the Eagles were in town, right?
Oh, yes, they were.
I'm surprised you didn't go. That's
I'm very sad I didn't. Very sad I didn't.
So because the Eagles let out around when we wanted to come home,
the price went up.
It was $120 to take an Uber back, and I was like, Tiffany, are you sure you're not okay to drive? And she goes, let's just wait. She's a master. She's a ninja with the Uber. She's like, just wait. Just wait. And sure enough, like a few minutes later, it goes down to $70. And I was like, dude, let's take that. That sounds good. And then she's like, no.
That doesn't sound like airplane.
No, sure isn't. Sorry. And then She goes, don't, just wait. And then a few minutes later, it was $40.
And that's typically what it is, I think, right? 40.
What that's called is a surge. Those are
called,
surge rates. I learned
supply and demand. Too.
Yeah.
But I think it's typically 40, right? Isn't that like
from
the typical
downtown?
rate?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I did hit the pinnacle of my career. It's all downhill from here. Yes, I was the celebrity caller for the Boy Scouts Gyro Night yesterday. Yep.
What do you mean caller?
Bingo.
Oh,
bingo caller. Yeah. It's the height of my. How
did the by the way, I think it's Euros. I mean, I don't mean to correct your grammar.
I'm not. I call it what I call it. I'm not.
You call it whatever you want. So it was bingo night and Euro night?
Yes. Yeah, the Boy Scouts put it on. And then I bought my 2 tickets and I did my calling. I sat with John Gadd and his family.
Excellent.
Shout out to John Gadd and Hot Cards. And I bought my tickets, and then I went up to get my gyros, and they were out of gyro meats.
Ooh,
so
no
I didn't
lamb
get
meat
my
left.
gyro, whatever you want to call it. So it was super sad because you really can only get those. I mean, at least for me, at Blossom.
Yeah.
You know, when Blossom rolls around.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that is the pinnacle of your career, Molly.
Right.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
You should go on break.
It's downhill from here, man. Doesn't get any better than that. So I'm super excited about our guest today, Alex.
Me too. Why are you excited?
I'm just excited to. So he was our essay contest winner.
Yes.
And he's lived quite a life at a young age already.
Yeah. I noticed he came in on his own today. I was expecting him to have parents driving him around, but I think he might have just turned 16 and might be driving.
Okay.
Because he was a freshman last year.
Correct.
So
took the whole thing.
Right. So to catch folks up, Jeremy Cavanaugh took first place in our essay contest last year. So that means that he wrote an essay that a bunch of judges, community leaders, business leaders decided was better than the other 1,500 essays that were written and submitted by high school students of all ages. And he was a freshman. And
in 6 different schools?
Among 7 different schools. Right. 6,000 eligible students. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's amazing. Impressive. Yeah.
Amazing.
Folks are going to want to go to the page, thebestpodcastever.com, and read his essay, which is really cool. And it's all about LGBT education and anti-discrimination efforts. And I was really proud of it too, Molly, because we really have a very mixed demographic between left-wing and right-wing people here, right? And our final judges included both Democrat and Republican, liberal and conservative congressmen. Mm-hmm. And they agreed that Jeremy wrote the best essay, even though substantively they didn't all, I'm sure, agree necessarily with that topic being chosen, mm-hmm. The lifestyle, mm-hmm. Anything else about it. But
plus, out of all the judges, religion plays a part in this as well for beliefs. It's not only a Democrat or Republican. So,
right.
That says a lot that, I think it says a lot about our judges as well.
Right.
That we do judge it based on what we're asked to judge it on.
Yeah. So after winning, Jeremy and I went on an NPR WCPN show with Rick Jackson called Is it Idea Stream or Idea Center? I think it's Idea Stream. And did an interview there, and you can see that video on the website as well. But read the essay, folks, because it's really cool.
And the essay, just to correct you if I may, the essay is on the essay website. You gave the podcast.
Well, I assumed that Nellie would be posting it. Yeah. Okay. But, to your point, Molly, if you want to see, folks, the culmination of this was our 3rd year doing it, go to gertzberglaw.com and then click on essay contest, and you'll see all the winning essays, lots of cool videos and pictures, and you'll see some stats from the last 3 years. And can we just say what's happening in the next couple of weeks, Molly, in Columbus?
Sure.
Let's do that. Sure,
but let's make it quick because we don't want Jeremy to sit out there.
He's cutting into his homework time right now.
Yeah.
So what did we decide, Molly, this year? We decided we are going to put, even though this snowball effect has been happening with this essay contest and it's gotten bigger and better and more meaningful and widespread, that we were going to hit the pause button on it.
Yeah, I think we just want to refine it. And the other thing that you're going to say in a second, we needed to spend some energy and time on that.
Because that is potentially a sort of a hockey stick moment, right? Where we can, instead of growing this contest sort of in a straight line incrementally, we can grow it in this exponential line and shoot it right to the moon, where we can now potentially reach students all over Ohio. And the way we're going to do that, Molly, is by going to Columbus and presenting our essay contest to the Ohio School Boards Association annual conference over there, where thousands of superintendents and school board members are going to be there. And I guess Gina Davis is going to be like their speaker, which is interesting.
I think that somebody did you read the description? Because
I just saw that it was Gina Davis.
You just saw the picture. I think someone submitted that picture because I read the description and there isn't anything about Gina Davis. So I think somebody submitted. I'm telling you, you look into it. Look into it.
Oh, I will look into it.
Yes.
Well, but it is a big deal for school administrators.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. It's their conference. And we've all been to conferences and they break out in these mini sessions, and we are one of the mini sessions, and we'll present our essay contest in hopes that somebody would or another school will take it on in their area.
Right.
So it's very exciting.
It is very exciting.
It's very exciting.
So I'm very interested to hear how Jeremy has taken his newfound celebrity and fame and
money.
He got $2,000 out of it, right?
Yeah, because he's not really thinking college, so to speak. I mean, if he were smart, he would put it away for college. Right. But you're a freshman. College is 3 years away.
I bet you. Let's take bets. Let's see what I bet it went 90% into a college fund, and some of it was spent on I don't know, not video games. It's probably not a video game.
I did not get to. I only because when you're judging, you don't know the person. There's no name attached to the essay. And then at the event, I really didn't get to talk to him much after the event. So I'm going to go 50-50.
50-50, like personal use, college savings? All right. I'm going to say 90% college savings.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
Although, you know what? No. I'm going to say 75% college, 25% car.
Car.
Yeah, like car-related expenses.
Okay.
Yeah, by the way, the most gratifying thing in this contest was that time at the end of the presentation at the awards reception when Jeremy's parents were like losing their minds, right? And wanting to get pictures with us like we were celebrities somehow. And they were getting everybody in, the whole family, his sister. And
I don't think I was invited to that picture.
No, you were in it because you leaned over to me after they left and they were so beaming with pride. And you were like, Alex, that right there is why we do this entire thing. That made it all worth it. Yeah.
Moments.
Yeah. All right, let's bring them up.
All right. Welcome, Jeremy. Hi. So right off the bat, we have a bet, and you won $2,000?
Yes.
Okay. How percentage-wise, or how did you spend the money, and what did you spend it more on?
Well, originally I had to save all of it.
Okay.
I wasn't allowed to spend
100%.
Yeah, but then I decided to treat myself, and I took $500 and I used that.
For?
Just to get little things here and there. That was like my spending money.
And where's the other?
It's all in the bank.
For something special?
Just to save. I've spent some more here and there, but I'm kind of keep
50-50 yet?
About-ish,
nice.
yeah.
What was the personal expenses all about?
Well, I decided that I earn the money, so
Absolutely.
I'm going to spend it on stuff that I would like to get that would normally be expensive, like, of course, video games and stuff like that. Because
I was saying video.
I'm a child,
Alex said video games, and then he changed his mind to car stuff.
I was like, you're probably not a video game cat, but you are a video game cat.
A little bit.
What video games?
Well, I decided that I'm going to spend $300, and I bought a Nintendo Switch because I wanted one really bad.
Interesting.
Good for you.
You know about the Nintendo Switch, Molly?
I don't know what it is.
You can play. It's this screen with two.
I should have finished that off. Like, nor do I care, but go ahead.
It's pretty cool. My kids have it.
I'm sure that the listeners know exactly.
But then you can plug
it
into your TV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's It's a very versatile game system.
Gotcha.
You didn't want to go with the Xbox One, huh?
No.
Not your thing?
I'm a Nintendo person.
All right. Okay, that's fair.
So, Jeremy, tell us just in a nutshell so that the
Molly,
listeners could.
Can we before we go there?
Yes. I just want to introduce a little bit of. So, just give us a little brief synopsis of you.
Okay.
So that the listeners can get to know you a little bit.
Okay. Well, I'm in 10th grade. I go to Chagrin Falls, and I'm a transgender male. I've transitioned from female to male, and I've been out for about a year to the school, which kind of acted as inspiration for me to write my whole essay. And yeah.
So can we ask, am I allowed to ask transgender so that we can understand that as well before we move forward? Because that's going to be,
please, Molly.
That word's going to be used a lot, I would think, in this podcast.
I don't think you need to ask my permission to ask questions.
So for the listeners, because believe it or not, some may not know, but tell us a little bit about what you mean by transgender and that you transitioned.
Okay, well, if someone is transgender, it means that there's a disconnection between their how their mind feels and how their body is. Like, for example, I was born as a female, but that's not how I feel. I feel like I should have been a male. So therefore, I've transitioned by dressing more masculine, choosing a masculine name, and telling my friends, I'm not a she, I'm a he. And, I've been starting to use Jeremy instead of my birth name in public and stuff like that.
Okay.
How old? Can you walk us through? So you're 16 right now? 15 right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So walk us through age-wise what that journey looked like. When did you first start feeling different? And then at what points in your life did you start doing things about that?
Yeah. Well, it's different for most people. It's different for everyone. But for me, I started to realize around the time I hit puberty. Because before puberty, if male and female children, they're pretty much the same. But once they hit puberty, that's when you start to see the differences.
Right.
That's when I started to develop a more feminine body, and I felt that was not right at all. I was I should not have that at all.
That's so interesting. I've never heard it described that way. You know what I mean? That's very interesting.
Yeah, I was that's not right. And that was when I was about 11, almost 12. And I just thought that in my mind. I hadn't come out to anyone except for my close friends until a couple years later during 8th grade when I came out to my mom. And, for a period of time, they were the only people that knew. But last year, around actually this time last year, I came out to the whole school. So instead of being, my birth name and being female, people saw me as Jeremy and saw me as male, from then on. So
when you say I came out to the whole school, how does that happen?
Well, first I emailed my teachers to be hey, can you call me Jeremy instead? Am I able to write that down as my name on papers and stuff like that? And then slowly I'd begin to tell more people, or people would usually ask, they'd be hey, the teacher called you Jeremy in class, what's up with that? So it'd be a matter of just people either asking or just me telling them straight out.
What was the reaction, the initial reaction from teachers when you sent them that email?
They were all accepting. Some of them were I know it's probably going to be hard for you. It's going to be pretty confusing for other people as well, it might be, but they were all really accepting. It was great. And
what was the reaction from, I'm guessing the reaction from close friends was all very positive.
Yeah.
What was the reaction from people at in high school who were not your close friends?
They didn't really care. I mean, they respect it anyways. Even if people I don't really talk to, that they will still call me Jeremy now because they know that that's my name now and that's who I am now. They've just, I haven't met a single person that's been not accepting of my identity.
Wow.
Do you believe, Jeremy, that that is the usual way that things go when someone comes out in high school? Do you think that's the common? Let me start over because I'm not.
I think I know what you're asking.
Yeah, and I'd like to hear it from the perspective of what you've observed as well as what you've heard.
Yeah, I know that that's definitely not the norm for people coming out. I mean, yeah, it is pretty common for people to be accepting, but at the same time, there's always people that are going to be not accepting and not tolerant of it, and people that are just, closed-minded and won't accept the fact that people can change, And I know Chagrin is probably one of the best places for a student like me to be. There's other schools, other cities, other states that the people there would, completely ridicule me, and I would not know what to do.
There's got to be something about you, though, Jeremy, because my kids went to Chagrin Falls, and there was definitely students that I wouldn't say they were transgender, but definitely gay, and that was not their experience in Chagrin. So your personality prior to coming out, what kind of student, not that I'm saying that these people deserved anything, but what kind of student were you? Did you have a lot of friends? Were you bullied at all prior to coming out, or?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I was kind of a quiet kid anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Just like your average, quiet, studious kid. And actually, I feel like that coming out has let me become more outgoing in a sense. Because I've had to talk to more people about it. They've asked, I've, explained it to them. But yeah, I was mainly a quiet kid. I didn't really have that many people that I was close with outside of my close friends. But there was no one that really bullied me or anything, no.
Mm-hmm. And your parents totally accepting.
Yeah.
And, oh,
yeah.
That's wonderful.
I wonder too, going from girl to boy as opposed to going from boy to girl, right? Mm-hmm. Because boys tend to be, pretty aggressive towards each other in a way. I mean, I imagine girls are too, but I don't obviously know firsthand.
Girls are probably more catty, but I could see
right?
where, to your point, where that you would maybe think that would be a little not different, but
yeah. I mean, have you observed that difference when girls go to boy and versus when boys go to girl?
Well, I don't know that many other transgender people in my school, but I do know that if someone's going from girl to boy, it tends to be a lot easier for their transition to happen. I guess going from male to female would be a lot harder because, of course, the physical difference is it's a lot easier for a girl dress up as a guy than a guy dress up as a girl. Yeah. And even then, I guess people expect guys to be masculine all the time, whereas there's always tomboys everywhere, but guys are supposed to be masculine. Feminine guys are somewhat looked down upon. Mm-hmm. Not as much now, but they have been. So it would be a lot harder for them to come out safely.
Yeah.
I just have to say, and we are how many minutes in with Jeremy? With Jeremy, I am your age and what you have done. There are so many people, even adults, that don't have a clue on who they are, who they really truly are, and they chameleon to things. They hide who they are. And you are 15 years old and have been more true to yourself than I would say a lot of people that I know.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely, it takes decisiveness and courage to make a change like that. So yeah,
and just freeing, like you were saying, it has to be so freeing. And that's why I think we see these students killing themselves or regressing into their own, because they can't be true to themselves and truly be free to who they are.
Yeah, definitely.
And so do you consider yourself, yep, I did it, I'm good, or do you now feel that you have a duty or obligation to your peers to kind of lead the charge and help out anybody else that might want to be free?
Well, at least from what I've noticed, when I came out to the school, I noticed that some of my other friends that were transgender were also starting to come out after I did. So I guess I feel like I kind of helped facilitate that, which I'm really happy about. I'm happy that I was able to let more people like feel true to themselves in public without having to be ridiculed by it.
Sure.
Like, I know one of my close friends was afraid of coming out for years and just came out this year to the school and is so much happier. Yeah.
Did you feel that the essay contest helped sort of spread the word and helped positively impact this process for other kids?
I feel like it definitely did.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it brought to light a situation that not that many people think about in my school, since a lot of people in my school, you know, they're all the same, you know. It's not the most diverse school, but, you know, we do have a lot of gay, you know, transgender, bi students, you know. And I feel like the essay contest helped those students feel more comfortable in their school, even if they're not out yet.
Yeah. Well, so you win the essay contest.
'Cause it was fresh.
Yeah.
Like if you said you did it around this time and then the essay contest was March?
April. It was
so
when we made
that
the
was
announcement.
kind of fresh,
So let's
yeah.
talk about that. So you win it in April. We had this awesome reception. I think it was either last week of April or the first week of May. We went to that NPR show, right?
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool, right?
That was awesome.
Jeremy, I wasn't invited, just so you know.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think you had something else going on. It doesn't matter.
They only allowed one person.
So what else is that? Is that the life of the essay contest, or do other things happen?
Well, I feel like since the essay contest, I've been able to help the school even more. Like, I've started a gay, straight, gender sexuality alliance club at the school, which is actually, the first meeting is on Thursday. So I'm glad that I'm able to, you know, start forming a larger community for students like me that feel that they should be able to have a safe place to be.
And that was one of your solves in the essay.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, something
Educate.
similar to, yeah. And the school has been accepting to that?
Yeah. I met with the vice principal and everything, and she was totally fine with it. She loved the idea.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And they have, maybe we'll edit this out, but they have some funds that is supposed to go towards solving the solution.
Well,
FYI.
let's not edit this out. And folks at Chagrin High School, I hope you're using some of those funds.
Correct. So
right?
you, Jeremy, can go and say, I'm aware that there are funds
right.
that maybe we could buy some tea during our meeting.
Yeah. I will say, Molly, to pat ourselves on the back a little bit, right? Here's the thing, right?
Yes.
We've always, Jeremy, been talking about how cool it would be if one of the students who won this contest, who came up with a solution to a problem that they were dealing with, was able to get their school to actually implement a solution. And you've done that.
Yes,
and that
you
is
have.
so incredibly gratifying.
Without the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just think of what you could do now that you know there's money.
Yeah. No, that is a part of this all was kind of social experiment, but a part of it was how can we actually create student leaders and how can we have them solve real world problems? And you're doing it. That's amazing. Jeremy.
So cool.
Yeah. So, let's step away from the whole gender identity thing for a second, because, but before we do, I wonder if that's something, because my next question is going to be, what's a day in the life of Jeremy Cavanaugh, an average, maybe not so average 10th grader in Northeast Ohio? I want to go through that because we had a 6th grader on here. Young Jacob Gertzberg was on here not too long ago, and we asked that question, and we got a whole bunch of great information.
Yeah, we were like right there with them.
So we want to update our understanding and go to the 10th grade now. But before we do, I wonder if separating the way we're about to separate is that, do you find that it is difficult to separate the question of gender identity from, Jeremy Cavanaugh, average 10th grader? Do you know what I mean?
But why would you want, like,
what? I don't know if it's I want to know if it's something that comes up. Is it something that's on your mind? Is it something that
I would love to know what it's like in a day in Jeremy's life as Jeremy is.
Yeah.
Because that's a little probably different than.
Well, let's ask all those questions.
We're talking like I'm sitting right next to us.
The question is, do you ever get the thought, I just want to be a regular kid and I want people to ask me questions about just being a regular kid instead of questions relating to LGBT issues?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think about that a lot. I mean, I get it. I'm a minority, and people are going to ask me about that. But I would honestly prefer if that wasn't like the main core thing of my identity,
Yeah.
I just want it to be like something off on the side, like I have brown hair, I have brown eyes, I'm transgender. That I don't want that to be like something that everyone has to know about me. I don't want it to be like the main defining trait.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is tough because you're throwing yourself into this effort, right? Which is a noble effort. It's a great thing that you're doing, but you are definitely putting yourself out there as being this champion for this issue. And yeah, I would think, just like you said, you want to just kind of be a regular 10th grade kid.
Right.
Not necessarily attached to this very important issue.
Although I would have to say in anyone's life, no matter what age you are, if you are that passionate about something, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat or the circus, whatever it is, if you are out there defending it and then talking about it, you're always going to get that link to it. But
like people are going to ask me about it, and I'm happy to answer. But sometimes I just want it to not be the main thing that people like know and think about me.
Sure, like when I say to you, Alex, so Alex, how was your weekend? How did you do your boy things this weekend? Like, I mean, you wouldn't.
Right.
That's not how you would say it.
Right.
How was your boy weekend this weekend?
Yeah. I wouldn't even know how to answer that.
I wouldn't ask it. But with you, I would say, how was your weekend?
Right.
Did you have any obstacles that you had to go through being a trans? I could see how that could become a little exhausting.
Yeah.
Well, so let's ask the question normally, right?
Okay.
The way that I'm sure Jeremy wants to be asked.
Yes.
Which is like, what is a day in the life of Jeremy Cavanaugh, average 10th grade kid at Chagrin Falls High School? Walk us through it.
Well, I mean, I have, the typical normal daily schedule of any average 10th grader. I wake up, eat, go to school, stuff like that. Come home, homework, blah, blah, blah.
The boring stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I mean, just the fact that, of course, I'm different than most people. Of course, my daily life will end up being different. I mean, there's the people that always say, "Oh, I've never seen a girl named Jeremy before." Neither have I. It's great. It's great. Happens all the time. I love it.
You almost
really? Like, do people really say that?
Oh, at work all the time.
Are we allowed to say where you work? Probably not. Maybe not. Are we allowed?
I will tell you that I have ordered stuff from where Jeremy works in the drive-thru. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe the proprietor of that particular establishment.
Yeah, but we don't want people no.
Yeah. Anyway, you do a great job.
Thank you.
I got really good food over there from you.
Yes, I'm going to have to find out.
Yeah. So, wait. The extracurriculars, what are we talking about?
All right. So I've got band, speech and debate.
What do you play in band?
Clarinet and bassoon.
Okay.
That's great.
Got it.
Loving it.
Speech and debate.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. First tournament's on Saturday. I'm excited.
Where is it?
It's at Vermilion, I think.
Okay.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
That's
what is up with Vermilion? They're always hosting these debates.
It's like the novice tournament because it's my first year doing it, so that's where the first tournament is.
My kid did it, and I'm like, I don't want to drive to Vermilion. I'm sorry, it's way too far away.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's great.
All right, so but that's fun, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna go to law school?
I don't know. I want to go to school for biochemistry.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay.
So I'd say not a lawyer.
No, there's a lot of fertile ground there for Well, yeah, like biomedical law is huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other extracurriculars.
I'm in the drama program.
Were you in a play this year?
Yes, I'm doing Alice in Wonderland.
Ooh, which part?
Oh.
Well, I've mainly...
The one at Chagrin Valley Little Theater.
No, at the high school.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, since it's my first show, I've never really done acting before.
Well, if you need any help, I was in Peter Pan recently, 2 years ago.
Star Pirate.
For the
Star
Chagrin
Pirate
Falls
over
High
there.
School, or Chagrin Falls something.
Wait,
so
is
I'll help you out.
Rob,
No.
he's not coaching?
No, no.
All right.
No.
We know people,
He's teaching
Jeremy.
in
If you need to
Beechwood.
talk to like a real Broadway actor,
Oh, sounds
Yes,
fun.
Well, might
yes,
hook
I
you
would
guys up.
love to. And he's around because he's doing the Beechwood. They're
Rob,
doing a
why don't you
Beechwood and
just give
Rob.
us a call?
Yeah,
we got
for
a star
sure. I talked to
performer
him
over here.
today. Yeah.
This dude was in The Lion King, and he was in
Wicked
Wicked
Oh my god.
on Broadway.
on Broadway.
Yeah,
I know.
this dude's crazy.
We're gonna hook them up
Yeah, for
for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I do that, and I also do for theater. I'm a tech person. I did tech for Anything Goes, the spring musical last year. I did the spotlights, which I'm hoping to do for the musical this year again, because, well, I don't like to sing, so.
Oh,
So-
well, wait! You just said you're going to be in the musical.
No, I'm in the. It's a
Alice
play.
Wonder's a
Yeah.
play. Apologize.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But you're saying because this is your first year doing it, you're going to be like just like ensemble, or
Pretty much. I mean, I have a couple of roles, but like 1 or 2 lines, you know.
okay,
So.
gotcha.
I had no lines, just so you know. None. Zero.
It's okay. You did great, Mom.
I did. Thank you.
Okay. Good grades,
Of course.
straight A's.
Of course.
Okay. Wow.
And what does that mean? 3 point something, 4 point
4
something.
I think my GPA is like 4.3 or
Jeez,
something.
oh,
Okay,
man.
when we went to high school, Alex, was that even a possibility of
Oh, yeah.
reaching?
For sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
you had to-
wasn't for us.
Well, Molly, you need to take like honors classes for
I
that.
went to a private school, and even the top person didn't reach.
What?
No,
No.
4 point I think was our top. Now, what's the highest you can get?
5.0
I mean-
if you're doing like AP classes
Right.
and
Right,
stuff.
right. Crazy.
So you're in 10th. So college is probably still. Are you narrow? Is it too early to start narrowing for you?
I mean, I have a few choices.
She seems like
but
a planner.
They're all, on the West Coast. I don't
Why?
I don't like Ohio weather.
Okay.
I don't blame you there. Although, don't rule out Miami of Ohio. It's in the South. It's not that cold
I
down
think
there.
she was thinking of something other south, a little further south.
Trust me. Public Ivy. That's the nickname for Miami of Ohio. You will get more bang for your buck at Miami
or
of
they
Ohio.
call it mini chagrin.
Is that what they call it? Miami of Ohio? Really?
Yeah, everybody go.
I'd buy that.
I'm sure it's.
I'd buy
But
that.
when my older daughter went, you went from there to Miami. That was a big.
So
yeah.
biomed, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like the whole biotechnology, biochemistry, that whole
Yeah.
field.
So I do have to ask. You have a purse.
Yes.
So so as a transgender, that's confusing me now. So help me out.
I mean, we usually wear it as a purse. I tend to just hold it because the whole, gives off a feminine image.
right.
But it's a bag. It's
Okay.
a bag.
and I mean, don't get me wrong. Purses actually were males. That's what they carried was a purse, and I don't know, somehow
Right.
we thought it was cool and stole it. But
yeah, that's my whole problem is, if I want to transition, if I want people to see me as a guy, I have to dress masculinely. But sometimes, like, what if I want to wear a skirt sometimes? But then people will see me as a girl, and that's
Yeah.
not what I want at
Right.
all.
yeah, I'm sure.
Man, can I tell you something?
And we're allowed to wear pants and skirts, so that's not very fair, women.
You're saying because
well, because
we
we
would
do.
a lot
We don't.
yeah.
Right, but a man can't wear pants
Yeah.
can't wear pants and skirts. They
Yeah.
So you're going. So back to the life of let's leave school and go for the weekend because that's usually where the fun stuff happens,
yeah.
anyways.
Yeah.
So
Where-
give us your weekend,
where do
and
you
I
hang
also want to know. And I know that you want to separate the whole transgender, and you don't. But you're on here
Yeah.
to talk
Yeah,
about that.
of course.
So
That's fine.
do you tend to enjoy male dominating things? For instance, my husband and I choose different movies to go see. I'm more towards the sensitive chick flick, if you would, where he is through the, the action-packed. Does your transgender and the way that you feel spill out into all of that as well?
I mean, sometimes I try to make sure that the stuff I do will make me be seen as more masculine.
So are you forcing yourself?
Not really. It's usually that, most of the time I just don't care, but a lot of my interests, even before transitioning and coming out, tended to be on the masculine side.
Okay.
So just stuff like that, yeah. I don't really do that much over the weekend besides homework.
Why is that?
Well, I got to keep that 4.3.
Oh, because that was another one of our topics for the essay contest, was just the stress of school and stuff.
Yeah, I also do art. I draw a lot, which takes up a lot of time on the weekends. So that's usually what I do, just drawing and homework.
What kind of drawing?
Just cartoon stuff, just the typical. I don't really do realistic stuff.
Okay.
Do you find school to be pretty easy, or do you have anxiety about it?
Yes, to both. Some of my classes are a breeze. They're super easy. I won't have to study for anything. Then there's the classes where it gives me a lot of stress, and they're very hard classes,
Without getting yourself in trouble with those teachers, who are those teachers and where can we find them?
Well, I'm assuming it's probably subjects that you're not as into as the ones that you get the A's on.
Surprisingly, it's the opposite. I don't want to go to college for any language studies, but Spanish is my easiest class. I do not have to study for that class at all. But I mean, it's an easy language to learn. Meanwhile, chemistry, where it's in the sciences, is one of my hardest classes. Just because it's a hard topic since I, first time learning it, but it's fun, but it's hard.
I flunked it.
Just so you know. If I was in 10th grade right now, I would say that exact same thing. Chemistry was the bane of my existence.
Totally flunked it.
Well,
sophomore year.
You know why? Tell me if this is true for you, Jeremy. The reason I had so much trouble with chemistry is because I had a hard time applying it to anything I did, right? And memorizing the periodic table. When would I ever need to know and apply and use that knowledge?
Oh, we don't have to memorize the table anymore. Nope.
See,
but the thing is,
God bless your chemistry teacher.
Maybe I want to go back to high school. Maybe I could get a 4 point whatever now.
It's a lot of math.
2.7 that I had.
It's a lot of
math. That's right. That's right.
I'm okay at math, but I don't like math.
Chemistry I thought was just a horrible thing to do to people, to teach them. And yeah, that's right. It was a lot of math.
It's confusing stuff to learn, but once you learn it, it gets easier. But yeah. I mean, math.
Right. What else is difficult?
That's mainly the hardest class for me. My history class, I guess, is a little hard because I'm in AP, so
yeah. Of course you are.
That makes it a little bit difficult.
What are you guys studying in AP history right now?
Well, we're doing U.S. history, so we're doing the Revolution and stuff right now. I mean, it's not hard, but there's a lot of stuff to know.
Yeah.
Which is my, it's hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you go to homecoming? No. Would you?
Depends. If I have people to go with, then I would.
And I would assume that you would want to eventually ask a girl to go with you, right?
Depends. Okay. I don't really see gender and attraction. If I see a girl, I'm that's a hot girl. It's a hot girl. If I see a guy, it's a hot guy. It's a hot guy.
Oh, believe me, I agree.
Dude, I totally agree too.
Yeah, I mean, you appreciate the beauty of it.
What did I just read? Oh yeah. I'm reading this book now called The Art of Thinking Clearly. The Art of Thinking Clearly. It's fascinating, and it's a German writer had the book translated, and what it is it's divided into 100 chapters, and each chapter is one cognitive bias, right? Just something that makes you think irrationally or illogically, and one of them is liking somebody as a precondition to buying from them, right? So attraction. So basically, there are three components of that. You're more likely to buy from somebody that is attractive, somebody that expresses that they like you, and someone that is like you, right? So the best salespeople in the world have all three qualities, right? And which is why when you turn on the TV, commercials always have really attractive people there.
Although I have seen that to be moving in a different direction lately. Watch the commercials. Now, there was just a commercial I saw, and I can't think of what it was. It was a guy who was wearing jeans. I can totally picture it, but he was overweight, and I thought that same thing. I was like, wow, that's an interesting. It wasn't a handsome. Gosh, shoot! I wish I could remember. I just saw it yesterday. I thought that same thing was wow. That's. But you do see in commercials now that family life is not what we used to see family life. It is biracial. Mm-hmm. There are gay commercials with, I just saw one the other day with two gentlemen on the couch. You could tell they were partners. I mean, it is
progressive.
Modernized. It is definitely progressive. Yeah.
Anywho, I think we might have to bust into the lightning round.
Lightning round.
Yeah, you ready for the lightning round?
Sure.
All right. Molly, would you care to go first? Ladies first?
Sure. Thank you, Alex Gertzberg.
Thank you, Molly Gebler.
My first question is, what have you binged lately?
Nothing. I don't watch that much TV.
Good for you, Jeremy.
None at all.
Not really, no.
Okay.
What was the last thing you binged?
Yeah.
I don't really binge watch stuff.
Okay.
What was the last thing you watched on TV, period?
Probably the news or something.
Good for you.
Snore.
Right.
It's not true, just so you know. It's fake. Okay. So what's on your mind?
Like right now?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really. Just thinking about the fact that I'm on a podcast right now.
Nice.
Just kind of terrifying, but also exciting.
It's easy, right? Totally. We're
easy.
Totally cash here. Totally cash. And am I allowed to ask an underage person to read me their last text?
You know how I feel about that question, Molly.
All my questions. Again, I need to go back and listen because I used to have really good questions and somehow they've disappeared. I'm asking. Oh, look
Jeremy
at
clearly does
Jeremy
not.
Let me see.
He is an open book.
Okay, so it was from my dad saying, "Do you have rehearsal?" No, I have a podcast.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm on a podcast, Dad.
Nice.
That's where I'm headed. My last one was I have 12 IPA, you bring Bud Light or Yinling 12.
Oh, my goodness.
That's mine. We have an event. We have an event on Wednesday. And yours, Alex, look, he's trying to find a good one to read because it's probably from
They're all so lame. All of my texts are so transactional. And this is the most interesting of them. And it is me asking Beth, our controller, to set up remote deposits with the bank. So she doesn't have to see what I mean. I mean, this is.
You have a boring life, Alex.
I know I do.
So boring.
Any other lightning round questions, Molly?
I don't remember them. Oh, there was.
Hold on. I think.
What you got?
I think that's all you're binging and what's on your mind, and then picture. Right.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Whatever.
All right. Here's my lightning round questions. You ready?
Oh boy.
You're on a desert island for a minimum of 3 months. You've been shipwrecked. You could be there for a day. You could be there for the rest of your life. You may bring with you any single author's entire bibliography.
Oh,
Who's
man.
the author?
I don't know. I'd probably just bring a bunch of dictionaries or something.
Oh.
I don't know. I think we're
Although
looking for an author.
there would only be one dictionary.
Yeah,
Right?
You may be reading just this author's work for the rest of your life, Jeremy.
Oh, that's gonna be difficult. All right, let's see. I'm just gonna, say the same. When everyone said that, I'd probably bring the Harry Potter series.
All right.
No, I don't
J.K.
know if
Rowling,
anyone
that's
said
fair.
that
Pretty
one
iconic.
yet.
Somebody said it.
Did it?
For sure.
Yeah, but not as many people as you would think.
That's a great choice because that would really get your mind off of your circumstances. Well,
Yeah.
Jeremy, same desert island, same amount of time, which is to say unknown, but a minimum of 3 months. You may bring with you any single musician's entire discography.
Oh man. Oh, you're asking a huge music nerd the most impossible question.
Wait, we've been doing the podcast for an hour. You didn't mention anything about music.
We're about to let's get into it. Let's
Here
dig
we
in.
go.
Man,
Oh,
let's
man.
see. This is gonna be pretty tough.
Are you I feel like I want to guess. Maybe I couldn't.
I don't know. I don't think we really know the music nerdiness genre that we're about to get into here.
I feel that we're going to get into some old school.
So just one band. Okay, probably the Hoosiers. I mean, no one really knows who they are, but
I don't.
They're like somewhat early 2000s, early 2010s, and they're my favorite artists. And I don't really buy music like physically,
genre?
but I bought their 10th anniversary album because I love them so much. It's not really that easy to describe because they have songs like that are like, you know, quite like acoustic songs, but then they'll have like pretty hard, not hard, but like loud, kind of energetic,
rocky, jump up and down.
A little bit, yeah.
If you were to choose an old school, I don't want to give any guidance here, but if you could pick an old school, do you listen to any old
meaning
school?
Anything before you were born?
Or are you all new music?
I mean, I don't listen to that much older music, but I mean, I'd probably, you know, bring the Beatles because I mean they're pretty good, pretty iconic.
You know, they're all right.
They're okay.
They're all right. They did a song or two.
They played a few good cuts on some albums. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I think John Lennon might come back from the dead and get you.
Yeah. Jeremy, what is an embarrassing thing about yourself that nobody else knows?
Oh, man. Oh, boy. Let's see. I'm going to have to think about this one. Because, I mean, embarrassing moments at the basis of all my stories that I tell people.
Oh.
So, I mean, there might be one time. No. I mean, I got no idea. I tell people all my embarrassing stories.
Well, okay. I'll let you off the hook a little bit. What's an embarrassing thing? It could be it could be a story. It could be a habit. It could be anything. What's an embarrassing thing about yourself that the fewest number of people know?
All right, let's see. Well, oh my gosh. I would probably have to say, you know, the billions of times where someone says, like I'm gonna go get somewhere like fast food. They'll be like, enjoy your meal. I'll be like, you too, but
They're not good.
they don't. That happens all the time. And I work at a fast food place, and I do it.
Right.
Oh,
right.
boy.
It's great.
Uh-huh.
It's great.
Molly, I feel like we haven't shared an embarrassing story lately, right? That. Do you have an embarrassing story about yourself that nobody knows? Or an embarrassing thing?
I just fell. Yeah, I was going to lunch with you, and I fell on the main street here in Chagrin Falls. Fell right down.
That was kind of embarrassing. You're right.
It's very embarrassing, especially like when people are slowing down. They're like, "Can I help you?" And I was like, "Okay, move on, move on. Nothing to see here." Yeah, that's very embarrassing.
I think I've got the most embarrassing, other than all of those. Like,
well, share.
Well, but I may have shared. This is actually a high school story. When I was in high school, I think I was in 10th grade. Actually, this is going to resonate with you, Jeremy. And I somehow managed to convince this senior to go out with me.
No, you've said this like 4 times.
I'm going to tell Jeremy the rest of the
boy.
story.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued.
So, I had just gotten a car. So I picked her up from her house, and then we decided we were going to stop by my friend Bobby's house, right? So that I could show off that I've got a senior date. And Bobby and I, after we walked into his house, started, for whatever reason, wrestling. And he got me into this vicious like headlock and then started giving me a wedgie. And my underwear band ripped off my underwear. And he literally, in front of my senior date, he started like unspooling my underwear band as I rolled, like you would say if you were like unrolling like a thing of yarn, you know, until the entire underwear band came off of my body. To which my senior date said, "Why don't you just take me home?"
I would
and
say
I did.
So. Yeah.
And that was a sad night for me. One of many.
That's rough.
I would definitely
I
say
actually
so.
did just remember something really embarrassing.
Go.
All
See,
right.
that's why I said it. I thought I would jog your memory.
All right. So last year I was dyeing my hair different colors, and I would do that. You know, every couple months I'd have a new color. So I decided I'm gonna go red. I'm gonna dye my hair red. I thought it was gonna be like, you know, like a ginger red, you know, like a natural red. It was bright red, and I got a haircut around that same time. I asked for like a kind of like fade haircut, kind of like what I have right now. They gave me a bowl cut. So I had a bright red bowl cut for a solid like 3 months.
Do we have pictures of this, Jeremy?
I am glad we don't.
Man, can I tell you something? This has been exciting.
I have to just tell you that I am, and I said it earlier, I am so impressed with you, what you stand for, what you're doing for people that you probably don't even know you're doing it for, and keep doing it. Continue to be a child and enjoy that part as well. You don't have to take it all on, is another thing that I would tell you. You know, it is not your entire fight to fight. So make sure that you share that with other people. Make sure that other folks are sharing the load, or when you're not in the mood, don't do it. But keep up the great work. You are a phenomenal individual. And I'm honored to be in your presence, honestly, because like I said, there are people that I know that are of my age or older that have not accomplished what you have in your small time in life. So way to go.
Thank you.
So impressed.
So Jeremy, anything that you want to, so the organization that you created, GSA,
yeah.
Is that what it's called? Does it have a website? Is there anything that you would send our listeners to look at?
Not yet. We don't have a website right now, but I did just make a Twitter page for it, which it's primarily, for people at the school, like for like announcements and stuff. But if we ever do go on trips, they'll be announced just, to show the like impacts that we make in the school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of our listeners ought to call in and offer to make a website for you. That's what I thought.
And I'm assuming that they can contact the school, and the school could get them in touch with you if they're interested in joining. And this is for high school students, I would assume.
Yeah, high and middle school, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Molly, any news, any events, anything on the horizon for you?
Other than my big Boy Scout calling, bingo calling event this past weekend. Other than that
was the culmination
of
your entire career. You're right.
I'm good. Nothing going on.
Good. Folks, you're going to want to go to gertzberglaw.com, click on events to see what we're up to. We're probably giving a talk near you about how to stay out of trouble and court, well, like legal trouble, there's really good blogs there on running your business, and check all those things out.
This has been great.
Yeah, this has been great. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in, folks.
See ya.